Essex's arts and cultural sector plays a fundamental role in our economy, environment and well-being, making Essex a good place for children and families to grow. The Arts and Cultural Fund offers grants from £2,500 to £30,000 to cultural organisations of all types and individual artists wanting to deliver projects in Essex. We're delighted to support just under 50 applications via the first round of the fund last year, ranging from festivals, exhibitions, children's workshops and theatre programmes. Based on the detail provided so far, we estimate that almost 300,000 Essex residents will have had the opportunity to get involved with or benefit from creative and cultural activity and programmes supported via the fund. We also know that significant investment such as this in the arts will attract considerable match funding from other funders, earned income and in-kind support. The sheer breadth and diversity of cultural activity available to residents across Essex was a real highlight of the first round of the Arts and Cultural Fund. From a hair adornment project to the Colchester Eco Festival, as well as music, theatrical arts, fine art, digital works and film projects. The levels of engagement from across the sector has been a testament to the depth and talent we have in Essex. From established artists through to those undertaking their first project, the level of participation embedded in projects supported by the fund will have positive impacts and outcomes for the residents of Essex.
Well, we're delighted at the Mercury that Essex County Council has once again made available the grants to the arts and cultural sector. At the moment, it's so important that that sector gets supported. Yes, there's a cost of living crisis, but throughout this, it's an opportunity through these projects for people to come together, to laugh, be entertained, but equally to celebrate all where we live. And it's just a great opportunity. We'd really encourage you to apply. It doesn't matter how small or how big your project is. The funds are there to be spent in Essex, supporting you on your journey to creating some fantastic work.
So the Christmas Carol experience in this guise and with the support of the Essex Arts and Cultural Fund is hosting the Christmas Carol Festive Trail. So the project is us taking over 12 disused retail units around Colchester city centre and sort of bringing them to life over the festive period. We've commissioned 8 local artists and creators to create installations in each of those windows that respond to one of the 12 chapters of our retelling of A Christmas Carol. And then there's 4 other windows which we're working with 4 clear community groups to create installations within those windows as well. So we're working with a primary school, a secondary school, a care home, and the 4th community group is actually an Essex-wide window. So we're going to be doing a call out to Essex, asking them to share their sort of favourite Christmas memories and stories and images that we're going to compile into one installation within one of those 12 windows.
And the Arts and Cultural Fund has been incredibly important to the project because on one level it's allowed us to work with a huge number of people. We've commissioned artwork from 9 professional artists working locally, 4 vocalists, 2 sound engineers, 4 practitioners who've been going into schools, a website designer, graphic designer. So on one level it's allowed us to work with a whole load of interesting creatives and create work that will be displayed throughout Colchester city centre and that people across Essex can visit during the Christmas season. It's allowed us to engage with community groups, so we've been able to work with schools, care homes, and as Joseph mentioned, on a larger digital scale as well, engaging with people across the county. And also, as far as our project's concerned, it's given us the opportunity to expand it into something new, a different form of performance, an interactive performance that will engage with hopefully thousands of people across the county this Christmas, and will give it life beyond for the years to come.
I think it's really important to support the arts in Essex. I think that the high street, certainly in our instance with our project, the high street's changing. Shopping habits are changing, they're moving more online, which is meaning that there are lots more sort of empty shops sitting there crying out to be used for something inventive and creative. We're really grateful that we've been able to work with so many landlords and sort of cultural organisations to really bring this project to life. And I think that this is something that actually with the Arts and Cultural Fund, where we're encouraged to think of new ways to bring people back into the public realm or to increase and encourage sort of artisticness and creativity, actually it's a fund like this that can really help support those projects and ventures.
Julia and I have known each other for a length of time as minority women working in Colchester and areas around doing our own thing. We had a fantastic opportunity to come across a woman from Snapping the Stiletto, Kaylee Boyle, who then in a chance conversation said, why don't you think of doing something that interests you? So at that time we were doing a foraging project. And so then when we got that small bit of funding, it could anchor an idea about bringing women across different cultural backgrounds, across generations, to look at what adornment and hair is about. And it was more than just doing the adornment and hair, it was also about creating a platform. So Julia came in as my partner. We were partners suddenly, and she did the visuals and I did the oral history bit. So we made hair stories. So there's an exhibit. On the back of it, we decided to go for Essex Arts and Culture Fund, which then meant that we could explore this pilot a little further and to anchor it in this area. So our end of our bid said, led by women with color, open to all. So then it became an opportunity to create a women with color network, organization, if you want to call it that, whatever you want to call it. We call it a platform which would enable us to continue to work together on projects and bring in women from different backgrounds who we know and to widen our network.
Yes, so we had workshops running up to the event, which is coming up now in November. And these workshops actually centered around the history as well as cultures around hair. We were able to explore cultures from the African background as well as the European background. And also, basically, it was quite wide in terms of what it was, what the workshops were trying to anchor. They also brought together women from different cultures who brought in lots of their cultures in terms of hair and adornment. And obviously this led to the networks as well amongst the women, as well as empowering women within the community who had various skills, but actually were able to explore their skills as well as progress their skills as well within the community.
So now we are a core group of women who could give their time to plan. So we decided to use this amazing opportunity which you have kindly given us, with giving us to believing a different way of working, basically. And it is, and we're still learning. And the workshops, we decided to do monthly workshops leading up to a festival of adornment and hair, because the workshops also would widen our networks, and then we could explore similarities. So as somebody who's done quite a lot of work along this notion of how similar we all are, it has allowed us the opportunity to tease those similarities out and to celebrate our differences. And in the main, when we look at adornments, we don't have a definite conceptual idea. So it was hijab, for example. But then during the exploration of hijab, our latest discussion is with a woman from Turkmenistan who is going to bring in her a traditional heritage of how women adorn themselves. Now she's a woman who works with families with special needs with the refugee and asylum-seeking families. So for us, it's also an opportunity to have fun. And in that process of having fun, we also had an intention to bring out issues that are affecting us around wearing hijab, not wearing hijab, cutting hair, not cutting hair,
braids and
braiding. And during our pilot project, those discussions, we discovered that young women like Julia, who had dual heritage, also had backstories, and they wanted to bring it to the communities to say, these are the things that we are affected by. Join us, let's keep talking, let's have fun, let's make things, let's create adornments. And it's allowed us it has enabled us to function, because we don't have we don't have surplus amongst our communities. So it's an amazing opportunity, especially as we are not visible in established networks of art funders either, as community organizations. As individuals, yes. As established organizations, yes. But as nascent emerging groups of women like us, I feel like you've given us an opportunity, so we thank you for that.
I'm Martin Reed from the Colchester Eco Festival delivery team, which is supported by the local charity MForm. And so far we've done 2 festivals in 2021 and 2022. We missed out, obviously, 2020 for obvious reasons. And the festivals are intended for the whole of Colchester community, basically. That is, it's very important to us that the festival is not just for eco-warriors or even for people who are particularly focused on living sustainably. It's for anyone who has any sort of commitment, no matter how slight or superficial, for helping the environment. So at both festivals, we had over 100 stalls. You could find experts who could talk knowledgeably about growing your own vegetables, encouraging wildlife into your garden, repairing mechanical stuff, instead of just buying new, insulating your home, reducing energy bills, solar energy, and so on. It was important to us to get the money to pay a diverse set of performers for the children's tent. We had African drummers, FSA came up all the way from Romford, Caribbean storyteller, and we had the services of a visual artist from cross-cultural background who worked with us with the Bangladeshi community who meet at First Sight, and that was to produce the stage backdrop. We also paid a number of other local performers whose work was very specifically oriented towards the aims of the festival. So all told, that supported a whole variety of stuff that we wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. What's also important is that we were able to put together partnerships with, for instance, the Bangladeshi community and First Sight, and get people together to contribute to the festival. To me, they represent an alternative way of thinking about life, universe, and everything, and our common humanity, basically.
My name is Ailsa Clark. I research, produce, and co-host Eerie Essex, which is a podcast alongside Bethan Briggs Miller. It's for those who want to learn more about the eerie history of Essex. It's ancient culture, folk tales, ghost stories and supernatural encounters. We've covered everything from the witch trials to cryptid encounters. We've recently just done an episode of folk tales about the devil appearing in our midst. And we've recently just hit 10,000 downloads, which was a massive number for us. So Eerie Essex on the road is something we've been dreaming of doing since we first started the podcast a year ago. We want to take our recording equipment on the road with us across all of Essex and capture people's stories. These can be folk tales, traditions handed down by their grandparents, ghostly encounters, strange sightings, really just capturing the folklore that is still live within our county as a snapshot of something that's happening now. Our target audience is truly worldwide. We reach audiences from America to Australia and everywhere in between, and we quite regularly hear from listeners in other countries with who have roots in Essex and tell us about their stories from their grandparents as well. So these stories could reach anyone in the world. So we simply wouldn't have been able to carry this out without the funding, at least not this soon and not at a professional level with all the equipment we've been able to purchase. Both Bethan and I suffer from hypermobility issues which affect our mobility related to Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And that means travelling with heavy equipment would have been a real struggle for us. And because of the funding, we've been able to employ people to help us with that as well. And obviously made travel a lot easier and more straightforward for us.
Okay, we are Colchester Chinese Culture Society, which is a community interest company formed in 2004. The aim is to enrich our Chinese community life and then to help the Chinese people integrate it into the mainstream society and help them to help the general public to learn Chinese culture. Yeah, with the Culture Arts Fund provided by Essex County Council, we are doing a 10-month project started from the Queen's Jubilee celebrations. We did Queen's Platinum Jubilee weekend. First is the Badge on the Beach, and then we did the street party in Jaywick. Also, we are doing the Essex Jiangsu Festival, which will be launched in November in Heritage Arts and Heritage Centre. We are doing 2 exhibitions. One is the painting exhibition by our members, which during the pandemic we pick up a hobby and started trying to paint. And another exhibition is a photography exhibition. So the theme is a beautiful UK and a beautiful China, and then the charm of Jiangsu to celebrate the friendship between Jiangsu province and Essex. And then to mark the finale of the project funded by the Arts Fund, we're going to have Chinese New Year celebrations in January 2023. We have been working with other partnerships within Essex, so not only the Essex Arts Fund, we also received in-kind support from Essex Culture Diversity Project. We also received a fund from Tendring District Council, also the in-kind support from Heritage Arts and Heritage Centre. So it is very, very important to get the funding to support our work because all our events are free and we reach a very diverse audience. So without the support of the fund, we wouldn't be able to do that. We are a very unique organization because we promote Chinese culture, which to help people understand the race difference, the age, and then the custom difference between the normal people, but we can find a common ground. Also to enrich the life in Essex, especially in Tendring, which we identified quite a lot of people are in poverty and a lot of people are in isolation. During the pandemic especially, people's well-being are affected. So I think it's very important to provide something different and arts activity within the community for people to enjoy.
The Arts and Cultural Fund is open to anyone working in the arts and cultural sector who would like to engage with and benefit Essex populaces through their practice. Whilst it is a competitive scheme, we would very much encourage people to apply and to speak with a member of our culture team wherever possible. For full information and our contact details, please visit our Explore Essex website.